This episode of Pokemon Tips and Tricks is brought to you by Amino apps. If you guys are looking for a cool community, definitely look no further than the Pokemon Sun and Moon Amino app. Download it from the App Store or Google Play, make your own account, jump in to the community, and be welcome. It's very fun. You can make a profile in a couple seconds, and there's a lot of people that are so excited to meet you. Like all these cool people here. So there's so many things that you could do with the app. I personally love scrolling through the front page, as you guys can see right over here, and I love taking a look at all the different trivia and all the posts that people have to say about stuff. You might learn some cool things, just like censoring in Pokemon. Pretty fun, huh? There's also polls that you can participate in, such as, who's your favorite legendary Pokemon? I'll let you guys guess which one mine is. But of course, there's giveaways and lots more to do. In case you guys want to take it on a personal level and make some battles and trade arrangements, you guys can join in on the public chats and the private chats in order to hang out with a bunch of fans that love Pokemon as much as you guys do. So with that being said, download the app today and have fun with it. Let me know what you guys think of it. Welcome back, everyone. It's Abdallah here with another exciting Pokemon Sun and Moon tips and tricks video. On today's episode, we're going to give you guys a visual tutorial on where to find all the different Poké Finder spots so that you can use your Rotom decks in order to snap pictures. Now, with that being said, if you snap over 1.5 million likes on those pictures, you'll get the final stamp on your trainer passport. So, here we go. We're going to jump right on into it. Let's do this. Our adventure is going to begin back in Hau'oli City, so make sure that you guys bust out your Charizard ride pager and fly on over there. Now, the greatest thing about playing Pokemon Snap in this generation is the fact that you can get a lot of different likes based on how well you take the pictures. And of course, you want to make sure that you capture the footage head on with any kind of Pokemon. You don't want any back shots, you don't want any side shots. Head on is exactly where you need to go. Now, over here, I am going to use some Max Repel just so that I don't get bothered by any wild Pokemon when we're giving you guys the full 20-spot tutorial. Now, right in this spot, I was able to find a wild Growlithe. Now, one of the best things that you can do, I think, is press the L trigger in order to get this awesome framing tool, so you can easily see the Pokemon in the very center frame. Now, that's how you're going to maximize on thumbs up. And also, whenever you're capturing these photos, you want to make sure that you pay attention to the movements of the Pokemon, seeing which way they're going to potentially go next, what kind of animations they do. You guys can see that Growlithe has a little growl animation. He's got a hind legs kind of cute trick. So if you're able to snap any of those animations, you're going to get way more points than usual. Now, other than Growlithe, you can also find Pikachu in this spot. You can find Alolan Meowth at night, and during the day, you can exclusively find Rockruff. So this is my best shot, so we're going to submit it. Now, you don't have to necessarily take 6 pictures. If you found a really good one, go for it. And you'll get thumbs up accordingly. So, keep on going for it. You'll be good to go. Now, moving on, we're going to go right to the south over here for our second spot, which is going to be right on the beachfront. In Hau'oli City beachfront, this is, you can get a couple different Pokemon. You get a Drifloon, you can get a Pelipper, and you get Wingull from this spot. Now, Drifloon is the super rare one on this spot right over here. If you're able to capture a picture of Drifloon, you're going to get so many likes on it. It's going to be great. So keep your eye towards the skies. Definitely press the L button to get that framing square, and then zoom in with the D-pad as best you can. If you don't have access to the zoom in functionality, you'll need to keep on taking pictures in order for your Pokefinder to be upgraded. The version 2 gives you the zoom functionality at about 1,500 likes on all of your compiled pictures. At 10,000 likes, you get version 3, which you get even more zoom. At 100,000 likes, you get version 4, where your zoom functionality is maxed. And of course, like we talked about earlier, version 5 of the Pokefinder is where you're going to get that special seal on your trainer passport. So it's all collaborative. If you really want to just grind for all these likes and thumbs up, all you have to do is just keep on rinsing and repeating the same picture over and over. It may take you some time. But anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to go to our next spot, which is the Hau'oli Cemetery. Now, Hau'oli Cemetery is kind of boring during the day, but if you go back at night, you have an opportunity to find Ghastly and Zubat over here. So fly on over. If you're during the day, the only Pokemon that you could find is a Pikipek, which is not bad, but I don't know, you could find better spots to take pictures. But it's cool if you have the ability to capture a picture of every single Pokemon in every spot. That's my challenge to you guys. So here's a picky pack. A little bit harder to capture a good picture because it's kind of erratic, but you can kind of see that it's flying in some sort of circle. So if you get a head-on photo, you'll be good to go. And then if you also pay attention to the sound that Rotom makes every time you take a picture, you'll kind of learn what sounds make a really good picture. And of course, he says stuff like brilliant and everything like that to kind of give you a hint that that picture that you just took is going to be a really good one. So for that picture, I only got 1349, not bad at all, but that actually gives us the ability to break 100,000 thumbs up. So now we have version 4. Version 4 has a lot more zooming in, so if you want to play Pokemon Snap, if you guys have ever played that on N64, you want to make sure that the full frame is just that Pokemon. It's going to be awesome. You don't want anything to be cut off either. So our next one is going to be Melemele Meadow. You guys are familiar with this area. Simply fly on over there with your Charizard Ride Pager, and then you're going to have the opportunity to snap a couple different Pokemon, which are going to be Cutie Fly and Oricorio with the Pom-Pom style, the little yellow one. So in this one, it's pretty easy to find the area. Just use your Tauros Ride to go right over here, in and out, hop down, and then go around the corner in order to find it. Now, this is where the Max Repel definitely comes in handy. I don't want to mess around with any Pokemon battles. So here we go. I was pretty lucky in this one because I was able to spawn both of these two in one shot. So if you look, I'm getting this guy here, boom, and then what do you know? The Oricorio is just hanging out. So I'm not sure if getting the Oricorio in a decent pose, all the way zoomed in and full framed, is going to be better than getting two Pokemon in one shot. So I'll leave that up to you guys to experiment with. I still am like playing Pokemon Snap, where you want to get as many Pokemon in one frame as possible. I still remember that. That was awesome. So anyway, Oricorio, like usual, just make sure that you are paying attention to the different animations that they do. And once they do an exclusive animation like that cheerleading pose, it's definitely worth a lot more thumbs up. So that'll make your lives a lot easier if you guys are going for that 1.5 million grind. So there we go. With that one, we got nearly 5,000 thumbs up for it. That's great. Okay, so moving on, our next Pokemon that we are going to get is going to be found in the Kalai Bay. Now, with this area, you're going to need the Lapras Ride Pager. So the Kalai Bay is right outside of the Seaward Cave. So simply put, ride on down this way. Kalai Bay is an area that can easily be missed within your initial playthrough of the game because it's not a mandatory area that you need to go to at all. So if you remember this cave, jump inside there, take your Tauros Ride Pager all the way down, and you will make it to that spot. Now this is a spot where you can get a couple TMs, you get some pretty cool items on the sea, and go from there. So let's go on down. We've got our Lapras Ride Pager, or the Sharpedo Jet, whatever works for you guys. Now, in this area, you have 3 different Pokemon that you can snap a picture of. You can get the exciting Corsola and a Alolan Dugtrio, or you can get the super boring Slowpoke. And, spoiler alert, I think I'm going to get a Slowpoke. Wah, wah. And every time that I spawn this area over here, Slowpoke was facing the other way. So if that's the case, just snap one picture, submit it, and be done with it. And then just respawn the area, or just go into the Pokefinder one more time, and then hopefully you'll have a shot of getting some other Pokemon, such as the Alola Dugtrio or the Corsola. So that's good. Rotom's still taunting me with 1.5 million snaps. That's pretty insane. Okay, so moving on. Now those are all the 5 spots inside Melemele Island. We're going to head over to Akala Island right now and show you guys all 6 opportunities to bust out the Pokefinder in order to snap some really cool pictures. Now, Melemele Island's rare Pokemon was Drifloon. Akala Island has 2 rare Pokemon. We'll get to them in a second. But our very first spot is going to take us to Peniola Ranch. Make sure you guys keep your repels on if you're going along with me. So here we go. Press the R button right next to this fence over here, and you can find a Lilipop. Yay! You can also find, if it's during the day, you can find an Espeon specifically, and an Umbreon during the night. And at any time of day, you can find Eevee. So Here we go. This Lillipup is being a little difficult. I'm just going to settle for some side profile shots, and if he's going to run towards the screen, that's going to be great. If not, no biggie. I mean, unless you're aiming for the perfect picture, which could be a thing. I don't know. You guys can have perfect pictures of every single Pokemon, and then knowing how many thumbs up you got from them, that's kind of like filling up the national decks, right? Man, finding rare Pokemon. All right. So there you have it, Eevee, Espeon, Lillipup, and Umbreon found in Peniola Ranch. Make sure that you have a nice little picture just like this. This one was like 3,600 thumbs up. That's really good. Okay, moving on. Our next one is going to take us to Royal Avenue, if you guys remember that where that one is. Now, it depends on what day you're in, what part of day you're in. Butterfree. Butterfree, I was thinking of Cutiefly. Butterfree is going to be during the day, and you have your Oricorio during the nighttime. So we're playing this during the day, so we're going to go find a Butterfree right now. In case you guys don't know how to change the day and night cycle, all you have to do is head on over to the Lake of the Sun of the Moon, or the mountain over there, bring the Legendary, and jump back into that wormhole, and you could switch it up. So here's Butterfree. I'm going to be aiming for like a full shot, like a full body shot that's facing me right over here, but with this, you want to make sure that none of the Pokemon is cut off, because if you do, then they're not going to give you as many thumbs up as possible. So if you could fill in the entire frame with Butterfree, that's going to be good with you. Good old Butterfree. So I'm going to submit this one. Although the wings are kind of clipped off, I thought I'd get a lot of points for it, but really, I didn't. Womp womp. 1,800 for that one, simply because I clipped its wings. Okay, moving on. Our next one is going to be Brooklet Hill. So let's fly on over that way, if you guys remember. There's a Pokemon Center right outside of Brooklet Hill, so we're going to go there. And in Brooklet Hill, we have the daytime exclusive Dewpider. You've got the nighttime exclusive Surskit, and then, of course, Poliwag and Politoed at any time of day. So, with that being said, who do you guys like out of those? I would really like to see a Politoed. That'd be great. And then, like, what if he had a hidden ability Drizzle and then it started raining? That would be really fun. I don't think the Game Freak would program that, but it would still be okay. So, if you guys remember this area over in Brooklet Hill, pretty easy to get to. All you have to do is have access to the Lapras Surf, and you can head on over this way. Just keep on surfing diagonally, and right next to this rock is where you want to press the R button and fire up the Pokefinder. Boom! So I had some pretty bad luck on my first run over here, because all I had was a backwards Poliwag. So, I mean, there's really nothing you can do with that. All you have to do is just waste your film, submit it, call it a day, and then try again if you want. There's an option within the menu right here that you can keep on taking photos of this shot, which will allow you to respawn the area. If you click on the middle option that says continue shooting photos here, you'll just respawn and retry again. Okay, moving on. Next one is going to be Well Volcano Park. This is going to be housing our first rare Pokemon on the Akala Island, which is going to be a Talonflame during the daytime exclusively. So, Talonflame during the day is going to be pretty hard for you guys to find. I don't know how many soft resets of the area you're going to need, but if you guys have any pictures of Talonflame, I would love to see them. Definitely tweet them at me. Other than Talonflame, you're going to be able to find a Cubone, Fletchling, and a Salandit. So if you guys remember the Well of Volcano Park, you guys can simply run down this way with your Tauros ride and then go inside the cave over here. Once you come out of this area, there's going to be a narrow path right next to some grass that we're going to go from. Okay, so here we go. Get off your Tauros ride, simply walk over to this spot, press the R button, and you're good to go. Good luck finding Talonflame. So the only Pokemon that I found was this Salandit over here. I don't even know if this is male or female, but that's okay. It's going pretty slow, but it does have a very funny animation if you're able to snap it. And unfortunately, he didn't do the animation like head on. I only got a side profile. See, like right here, you can see it. Oh, there we go, looking directly at you with that. I thought that was going to be the money shot right there, but apparently since it's a side profile, you're not going to get too many points for that. Even though it kind of looked funny with like the sideways head and a little smile there for Salandit. Only 1,400, which is really nothing. My record thumbs up for 7,673 was from an Absol, and I'll show you guys where exactly that's at. a little bit later. Okay, so moving on, our next route is going to be Route 8, where we can find 3 different Pokemon. You can find Crabrawler. If you're at nighttime, you can find the exclusive Alolan Rattata. And, of course, if you are in the daytime, you will find a Yungoos. Now, this one's a little bit harder, considering the fact that it's daytime right now, so I can only get Crabrawler or Yungoos. Of the 2 or 3 times that I've snapped a picture underneath this trailer over here, I've only gotten Yungooses. And they come out really quick, so you only have like 1 shot to get them. You can see them run from underneath over here, snap, and then they run inside that hole, and then they're gone. That's pretty much it. So submit those 3 pictures and do your best. I can imagine if you just leave your frame set up so it's going to run directly into you, you might get a pretty good one, but I wasn't about to do that yet. So I only got 522 thumbs up from that one. Not too bad. Not too bad, but the Alolan Rattata and the Crabrawler might be some pretty cool opportunities for you. Alright, so our last photo spot on the Akala Island is going to be in Lush Jungle. So if you guys remember, there is a flying spot that you can head straight over into that one. And this actually houses the second rare Pokemon spawn on Akala Island, which is going to be Goodra. So imagine you guys capturing a rare Goodra photo inside the Lush Jungle. That'd be great. So during the day, you have Bounsweet and Paras. Those are exclusives. During the night, you have Formantis and Morlul. And then, of course, at any given time, you have this Pokemon right here, which is Comfey. Now, Comfey's obviously facing the other way over here, and we've seen that it has a special animation where it flips around in a circle. So that's really where you want to take a picture of it. But, I mean, I'm getting the back of it, so really just 1 picture is going to be good enough for this guy. So snap it in the middle of its animation, call it a day, submit it, go from there. Now, if you ever, like I said, if you ever have a shot with any of these Pokemon where they're facing the opposite way, just submit the picture and then click on continue shooting photos here. Maybe that Pokemon will switch around. Rather than just waiting for the Pokemon to move, just submit the photo, call it a day. There's nothing wrong with submitting bad photos. So I got 1,700 off of that. Not bad for a behind picture. Okay, so now that we've done all of the photo spots in Akala Island, it's time to head on over to the Ula'ula Island and show you guys the very first spot on Mount Hakulani. Now, Mount Hakulani houses 1 rare Pokemon spawn, which is going to be Magnezone at nighttime. So I implore you guys to definitely give that a shot. If you're in nighttime, it's going to be Magnezone is a super rare one. You've got the exclusive Clefairy and Clefable for nighttime. And then, of course, during the day or any other time, you can get Beldum or Metang, which are some pretty good shots, I would say so. So if you wanted to really spam and just get the 1.5 million, this would probably be the spot right here. Beldum stands very still, and he has 1 little animation where he's kind of smiling and leaning backwards a little bit. If you snap that photo, you'll get a lot of points for it. And then it only takes a couple seconds to do so. So I would say that this spot would be the best if you found a Beldum just kind of hovering right there. So there is your Beldum, looking really cute. I didn't realize that his little eyeball can have that little arc. That's kind of cool. Okay. Moving on, we're going to head over to Blush Mountain. If you guys remember where the geothermal power plant is, right off of Route 12, we're going to head on over that way. Now, Ula'ula Island has a second rare Pokemon spawn in this one, which is going to be Porygon Z. So if you guys are lucky, you may snap a Porygon Z there. Other than that, you have a chance to find Elekid, Magneton, and Togedemaru. So that's going to be pretty fun. Oh man, I can't wait to see you guys' picture of Porygon Z, if you guys can snap one. Head over here to this chain link fence and see who you get. So we have our very own Elekid over here. Elekid is going pretty slow, so that's going to mean that we're going to have an easier time. So we're going to try to frame the shot as best we can with this little guy and snapping some pictures just like that. So you can see that he's going to be walking in a circle. Nothing too out of the ordinary for him. So if you got some really good pictures of him walking towards you, you'll be good to go with that. So going over here, make sure that none of him is cut off. Choose the best one that you have, and I'm thinking it's going to be maybe this one right here because it's a little bit more close zoomed in. So that one gave us 4,524 points, which is pretty good. So that's very easy to get. All right, moving on. Route 13 is going to be next. you can simply walk backwards out of there, or you can fly over here. You can fly exactly this way, yeah, to Tapu Village, and once you guys fly over that way, you'll have an opportunity to head over to Route 13 simply by heading east from this town. Now, Route 13's photo spot has a rare Flygon, if you're lucky, which is going to be pretty crazy if you saw that thing. So head on east over here, you got the rare Flygon chance, you got a Gibble chance, and you have a Sandile chance. No night or day exclusives, it doesn't matter. So head on this way, use your Max Repel if you need to, head over these two little bushes over here, then press the R button, and you can find one of those 3 Pokemon. We found a Gibble over here. Gibble looks really great. He's got a very custom animation that he does, and it's very cute if you're able to snap it. So yeah, he kind of sings his little head back and forth, and he looks pretty happy. So find a good one where he comes right up to you, just like this, and then does his little singing thing. But keep in mind that we want head-on shots. And if he's only giving you side profile shots, then you may have to deal with that. So I only have 2 more shots left. I'm hoping for something really good like that. That was pretty decent. Those seem to be head-on. And you can hear Rotom making those different noises every time you snap it. So pick your best one. I'm kind of debating on which one to get. But we're going to go with this one right... Yeah, this one looks pretty happy. We're going to go with that one. Okay, so looking at that one was good. We got 4,000 thumbs up from it. Great. Okay, moving on. We have the Thrifty Mega Mart. With the Thrifty Mega Mart, you have 4 different Pokemon that could come up. No rares, but 4 differents. You got Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar, and of course Mimikyu. So fly on over to this area here, and simply head south like you've done so within the story mode. And I still remember that the story mode, that Mimikyu at the very end of that cutscene with Acerola is just kind of watching you from afar. Really creepy. Okay, so head on over to Thrifty Mega Mart. There's going to be a pile of boxes that you can bust out the photo spot right over here. Boom. Pokefinder is fired up. And of course, you're going to find any one of those 4 Pokemon. I was lucky enough to find this Ghastly just hanging out right here. Sometimes you find a Ghastly that's floating around up top, really hard to photograph. But if you're looking over here, you can see Ghastly fully zoomed in, full framed picture, and if you get him to smile, you can get a lot of points for him. So boom, just like that. Electrifying and brilliant. So good job, Ghastly. We're going to find the one where he's smiling, kind of centered, which is good. Looking great there. Done. Good job, Ghastly. We got only 3,535 for that one. I totally thought we'd get a lot more. But I guess it's a Ghastly. It's not so rare, so people won't really thumbs up it. Alright, moving on. Exit the Thrifty Mega Mart, and now we're going to fly over to the Ula'ula Meadow. Yeah, so fly right over here to Route 16, or you can go to the Lake of the Moon or Sun. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same distance either way. So in the Ula'ula Meadow, there is the night exclusive Ariados, which is that spider Pokemon, or you can find the daytime exclusive Ledian, or the Oricorio you can find inside that spot. So the Oricorio is pretty cool. It has a little pom-pom pose. Well, not really a pom-pom, it's the like a dancer one. I think it's called the Bailey style? I don't remember. But here's Ledian. Alright, he's just kind of floating around. The ones that are floating in mid-air are oftentimes the hardest ones to snap a picture of, simply because they're moving, they're erratic, you're not really sure which direction they're going to turn or rotate. So if you guys like the gyro functionality on your Nintendo 3DS, I would definitely use that. If not, zoom in with the D-pad and then use the circle pad in order to kind of move around and follow their movement. So snap one that's directly in the middle and see what you can do. So there's the Ledian, daytime exclusive. So let's see what we got. We got a nice full framed one. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Centered, not really cut off. So we're going to submit that one. Done. So 3,000 points, not bad. So for the last photo spot on Ula'ula Island, we're going to head over to Mount Lanakila, right near the Pokemon Center, and this is where you can get some really, really good photos. This is where I got my record of 7,000 with an Absol. You can get the daytime exclusive Absol, you get the nighttime exclusives Frostlass, which is the rare one, or the nighttime exclusive Sneasel. Or at any given time you get Vanillish and Vanillite, the little ice cream Pokemon. So that's looking really good. Right over here is a spot where you want to go. Press the R button and you should fire it up. So what's great about this is that Absol's over here. You can get the ice cream, Vanillish, Vanillux. No Vanillux. Vanillish or Vanillite. And then, like I said, Frostlass is the rare one in this instance. So if you were able to snap a picture of Frostlass, whoo, man, I wonder how many points you can get. And if you get a good shot, man, I've yet to find any of these rare Pokemon. It's pretty insane. So snap a picture as best you can. It doesn't look like this ice cream is going to do any special animation. He looks like he's just kind of floating around. So I don't know. We're just going to probably submit the very first one that we took. Ice cream Pokemon, right? So Mount Lanakila, yeah, the first one is probably our best bet because he was directly head on. So we're going to submit that one. Hopefully we get a couple thousand off of it. And lo and behold, look at perfectly centered. We're going to get 5,000 for that. That's insane. That was an easy shot. 5,000? That's great. Okay, moving on. That is all of Ula'ula Island's photo spots. We are moving on to the Poni Island right now. Poni Island houses 2 rare Pokemon, along with 3 photo spots. So we're just about done. This is going to be it for our visual tutorial, so I can't wait to see all of your different photos that you guys have. Alright, moving on. Ancient Pony Path is where we're flying to. We're going to run simply over here. Make sure that you guys have your max repel on, because there's a lot of different Pokemon in the caves that can bother you and impede on your speed of getting to these spots. Now, Vast Pony Canyon is exactly where we're going to over here. This one houses Gigalith, Hakamo'o, Jangmo-o, and the rare Lucario. So, with that being said, none of them are day or night exclusives. You can find them at any given time. All you have to do is head this way over towards the bridge. Once we're done exploring the cave over this way, you can walk towards the bridge. Now, I wonder what Lucario looks like. I've never seen him. I've seen Hakamo'o, and I've seen Gigalith. I haven't seen Jangmo-o. But anyway, it's this bridge right over here. So once you're done walking towards the middle of it, press the R button, and we're going to look into the distance to see a Pokemon just hanging out right over here. Now, Gigalith is pretty easy to get because he makes one animation where it looks like he's yawning or making a roar or something. You can just simply snap the moment that he does that and then submit it. Make sure you're fully zoomed in. This one's very easy. So if you want to spam these photos in order to get your 1.5 million, definitely go for it. But yeah, Lucario, I'm very curious as to what he's doing or what he looks like. I really want to see all these rare pictures. So 5,636 off of that Gigalith. Again, another very easy one. So once we're done with that, we're going to fly over near the Pony Coast. So fly to Pony Meadow right now. This will bring you pretty much in the middle of the 2 last spots on Pony Island. Pony Coast is where we're going to be looking for the Pokemon Fearow and the Pokemon Beware. I've only seen Fearow in this spot, so maybe it's just RNG on my part. So we're going to run all the way over to the east and then head up north a little bit and go up this little ramp right over here and press the R button exactly in this spot to fire up our Pokefinder. Now, if you look towards the sky, you'll find a Fearow, or if you look towards the ground, maybe you'll find a Beware. But Fearow is very hard to capture a good picture of simply because it's very fast, it's erratic movements. You don't know if you got a side profile or a front profile. It's tough, especially if you're zoomed in all the way trying to snap this picture of them. So looking good. I'm going to snap a couple more pictures of Fearow, and then we're going to see exactly which of the 6 we're going to submit. Hopefully a good one, but I like the ones with like open wingspan. So I'm thinking this one may be a front portrait of it rather than a side. So we got 5,579 off of that, so that was pretty decent off of the Fearow. So that looks great. Okay, so our last one is last for a reason. This one can potentially house a Dragonite. Believe it or not, you got to fly straight over to Pony Meadow, or you can simply walk back the way that you came. Dragonite is the rare encounter over here. Or you can find Ribombee and the nighttime exclusive Oricorio, which is the ghost version, the Sensu style. So that is, yeah, that's it. Right over here is where you're going to need to find it. Right next to this tree, to the left of it, press the R button and then fire up the Pokefinder. Now, as you guys can see, this Ribombee is just kind of staying in one direction. He's not going to turn around. So I'm just going to snap one photo. Just a couple of them. Why not? And then just end it right there. End it prematurely. Get credit for the photos. and pretty much jump back into it. We got 4,000 and this Pokemon's not even looking at us. How crazy is that? So we're going to click on continue to shoot. Now this will automatically respawn the area. And what do you know, the Ribombee is looking directly at us, and he's got one animation where he swings from side to side. Now, I knew exactly what picture it was going to be, so I snapped this and we called it a day. Done. We got almost 7,000 points for that, which is pretty insane. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all the 20 spots where you can find opportunities to bust out your Pokefinder and take some really cool pictures. So I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of your submissions a little bit later. That's going to be awesome. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy the episode, you know what to do. Smash that like button, of course, share the video with a friend. We're going to continue on with even more Pokemon Sun and Moon tips and tricks tutorials with your help and support. So if you guys have an idea on what you'd like to see, definitely let me know in the comment section below. But as of right now, if you guys want to get caught up on the playlist, go over and click right here on screen. Newest video on the channel there, recommendations right over there. But yeah, if you guys have snapped any of those rare Pokemon, I want to see them. Tweet them at me. I will totally like them and RT them as they come through. The challenge is yours. Snap those rare Pokemon. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you guys in the next Pokemon Sun and Moon tips and tricks tutorial. Take care.